Hello Internet. Today I would like to do a quick review of this power supply that I got. And I'd like to point out that it is a complete nightmare to figure out how it works. And not to mention the signal that it generates isn't very clean. So let's say if we were to go, let's say we go to 4 volt, and then if we plug the oscilloscope, let me get the oscilloscope. Let's activate the output. You can see hopefully that the output isn't very clean, so it's very noisy. And let's go to 1 volt. When you change in voltage from higher to lower, you can kind of see that it starts to decline, kind of slow, which is a little bit annoying. So let me see. Yeah, this is a 1 volt signal. It looks even worse. So it's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise on this power supply basically. So let's flip over to 12.4 volt and let the oscilloscope do its thing. Still, there's still a little bit of noise, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. But we're not concerned about the noise here because it doesn't really matter too much for the intended purposes of the GPU repairs. Anyway, what I want to do, what I wanted to show you is how this thing actually works, because it is absolutely confusing and the instructions are absolutely dumb, written in several different languages, and none of them are understandable. So there's the biggest confusion is how to actually use the memory banks. And the reason why I bought this power supply is not because my old one broke or anything wrong with it, is that I need to be able to switch between the voltages and the amperage limits faster. And what better way to do it than with the presets? And there are several units like this. This one was like $80. There were ones that were $800. There were ones that were $2,500. But none of them would come anywhere close to the simplicity that I thought to this unit here. Also, there was another unit that I'm about to show you next that had just arrived. I haven't played with it just yet, so we're gonna be learning about it together. But also there was a third unit that I'm gonna show you on the screen. This one here, it's not a power supply. This one is a regulator for the power supply. So it will give you whatever voltage your power supply that you have supplies, and then gives you various controls, limit the currents and whatnot. But this thing also comes as a combo with a case and a power supply. And the price was great. I thought it was like, oh man, that's nice, with all the features and whatnot, and the memory banks and everything. But the problem is, if you were to look at, let's say, this unit here that I have in front of you, if you want to see, if you want to recall the settings from M1, all you have to do is press M1, and the first thing it does, it gives you a preview. So you are in the preview mode. You got to keep that word in mind. So while you're in the preview mode, you can see your light is red on that bank. So while you're in the preview mode, you can actually see what the voltage and the amperage limit is set for that particular memory channel. If you press it twice, then you're loading that preset. So preview, second click is load. Okay, so that's kind of intuitive in my opinion, and it seems to work just fine. So the only problem is that you have just noticed that the voltage takes a while to drop from 12 volt down to 1 volt. I don't know why that is, but it don't matter. So let's say we want to change the voltage for M1. We want it to be 12 volt, or maybe we want it 1 volt and 1 amp, for like injection and whatnot. So we have to be in the preview mode in order to save changes. This is where the intuitive kind of goes out the window, because intuitively you would think that once you made all the adjustments on the screen and then you hold the memory bank button long enough until you hear a beep, in your mind this is how it's saved. Well, in the mind of Chinese engineering, this isn't how it works. So while you're in preview mode, so whatever it is that you want to save, you have to save it while you are in the preview mode. Or you have to make the adjustments to whatever it is that you want to save while you're in the preview mode. So let's say I want, right now the M1 is limited to 1 volt, 0.1 amp. I want 1 amp. So while we're in the preview, I click next. So to switch over to amps, then I click the wheel and then I adjust whatever amperage I want to set as a limit. And so while I'm still in the preview, so as long as the cursor is clicking, flashing, we're still in the preview mode. You don't want to exit the preview mode accidentally. And you can notice that the M1 is still glowing red. So once I click it again, now the settings are saved. So if I click M1 to preview, we have 1 volt, 1 amp. Exact same thing. Let's say I want to do a save on M5 and I want to drop this to 12.3. So while I'm in voltage mode, I can click M5 and it will remember the voltage. Or if I click the next, which will switch from voltage to amperage, and note that the M5 is still glowing red, that's where everything gets saved. We're not saving voltage or amperage individually, we're just changing them individually, but we're saving them all at once. And this is basically what I wanted to show you. The other good thing about this particular unit is that once it's powered, the output is off by default. So allow me to turn that off. So it's turned off. We saw that the output was on, and after powering it on, the output is off by default, which is good. So that way, if you need to use it, you will have to reactivate this manually. Though I kind of wish that it was automatic, because I don't really have a problem with the output being hot all the time. So I would prefer it to be automatic. Always on, but I don't really know if there's a way to change that. If you guys do know the way to change that, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to tinker with that. So aside from a little bit of noise on the voltage, which doesn't really bother me, I think this is a very good power supply. And the annoyance of the voltage drop being a little taking its time is it's something that you can probably live with. So I would probably recommend this unit, though if you go on Amazon and you look for reviews, there are many people that are complaining about some of the issues. Maybe they are affecting some of the units. I'm not really sure. I haven't had any of the issues that they were complaining about. So I think it's a solid unit, and let's move on to the next one. Now here's another unit. This one's a KORAD. This is 30 volt, 5 amps. Actually, it can go up to 5.1, but it doesn't matter. This one is a little bit more expensive. It's $100 unit. It weighs probably about 10 times more because of the actual transformer. It actually has an actual transformer inside. It's a very beefy thing. But the drawback of this unit is that it only has 4 memory banks as opposed to 6. So, I mean, if 4 is enough, you're probably okay. The other drawback is that this one only has 5 amps, and very rarely you need more than 5 amps. Very rarely. Sometimes I have to have like all 10 of them in order to see a shorted core or something like that. It rarely happens, but the bottom line is you would probably need 10 amps regardless. And the reason why I bought this particular one is because the 10 amp version of this will be exactly the same, with the exception of higher rating amperage. All the menus, all the memory banks, and all the switches and whatnot, everything's going to be the same. So we could kind of have a look at what this thing looks. And the price for a 10 amp is, let me see. The 10 amp price is just over like $230 or something. So plus, you know, shipping, taxes, whatever, almost 250 bucks, which is a lot higher than the previous model. So it kind of makes you think. And now as far as the noise goes on the voltage and low and high side, the noise is about the same as the 1 volt noise on the previous unit, if not nearly identical. So it doesn't really matter for whatever reason. It's kind of funny that they have the exact same noise. It makes me wonder, what about my old Japanese Kenwood? What is the noise level on this guy? We could probably check that at the end of the video. And so, but the operation of this particular unit is, you see, the reason why I wanted to buy this one too is that I wanted to see how it operates, because the way I wanted to use it a certain way, and so, and I don't think I'm going to be sticking with this one for a number of reasons. So let me see. So do we? Let's check and see if the output is automatically on once the power is cycled. So let's turn it off. So let's power it on, and the output is off. Okay, so that's good. So we can turn on the output, though I kind of prefer it to be automatic, but it's really up to you. Now, the way that the things are saved is that you cycle between voltage and current with this button, then you cycle with the arrow left and right in order to change whatever voltage, whatever digit you're trying to adjust. So let's say we want 12 volt 40 amps. Let's switch to amps. 12.4 volts 3 amps. So let's do like 2 amps, whatever. And so then with these numbers set, we click whatever number we want. Oh, see, this is the issue. Is that once you click the number, the changes happen instantly. So whatever's saved on there, it's not like, it doesn't really give you a preview of what is actually saved on that channel. So you would have to make that adjustment. So let's make this 2.3, and I think we can, what do we do? Okay, so we're done there. Now let's click here and save it there. So I had to exit the edit mode, and then I press, and hold. So let's try to save something to a second bank. So let's switch to voltage. Let's say 9 volt, whatever. So we press and hold voltage current to exit the adjustment, and now we're saving it to bank number 2 by pressing. Nope, doesn't work. Okay, let's try again. Make some of that change here, like some of that change there. So do I have to do this while I'm in edit mode? Probably. Let's try again. Okay, I think I had to do that while it was in edit mode. So let's see. So 9.4. Okay, I got you. It's kind of funny, it beeps once and then it doesn't beep anymore. There's no indication that I saved anything, but it did save, but it wasn't giving me a beep. So looks like the procedure is the same, but the audible signal isn't working very well, and not also that we do not have any LEDs behind the button, so you can't really tell in which state the unit is in at any given moment. I think I'm going to be returning this for a reason of only 5 amps, and then a little bit of the lack of memory recall functions. There aren't that many, but as far as the voltage, when it goes up and down, it's instant because of the giant transformer inside, which is, you know, kind of cool. Or maybe I can keep it as a secondary power supply. I don't know. Either way, I hope you guys find this video helpful. And if so, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. So there's my old Kenwood 12.3 volt. Look at the noise level. What noise level? Now that's Japanese quality engineering right there.
Exactly. All Japanese are ninjas.